Boom, baby. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the podcast. Okay, thoughts to the table. Back with another episode. Sorry, I kind of just threw that on y'all, but we here, we live in the building. Let's go. Today we're talking some more NBA stuff. We got Backlog Bear as always, and also joining us today we got my man Tanish, a fellow graduate of this past year, joining us to talk some basketball. So welcome. God dang it! Why don't I have my sound ready? Welcome to the podcast.
There it is.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to like give a little intro, about yourself. I don't know why I'm doing this like it's class, like it's the first day of class and you're the new kid, but I don't know if there's anything you want to say.
Yeah, but you're talking to both of us, right?
We're talking to you, I think.
Yeah, he's been here, so he's fine.
Yeah, they know who I am.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just Tanish, basketball fan. Not too much special about me, except I'm a nerd about basketball. That's about it. But
Who's your team?
I'm a Spurs fan, man. It's been rough.
Yes, it has been. Last few years, man. We don't talk. Well, I guess we could talk a little bit about it. We did get Wemby out of it, but
we do have to. Yeah. I think I said this to y'all. We want to hop into stuff that we thought about at the start of the year, because I think we had an episode. It was really just me and Josh. We ended up just talking for like 30-40 minutes on stream.
Yeah.
And it was like it was when they did the Dame trade, I think.
It was like right around there.
Yeah, and then we just started thinking about like anything coming into the season that we were thinking about.
It was like the week of training camp started, so it's been a while since we've like sat and talked about the season.
Yeah,
and how it's gone so far.
So I mean,
yeah, no. You guys seen the trade today?
Okay, yeah, let's get into it.
Big news day.
This is just the news for real quick. Like, this is, what day is it? It is January 23rd, right? And today, already, Milwaukee has fired their coach. For what reason? I don't get. I don't understand it.
Tanish, like I've been hearing some things and seeing some things. You wanna jump in here first?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, when I hear about this, right, the first thing that comes to my mind is Josh Primo with the Spurs. Like when he was dropped.
When it just dropped out of nowhere, yeah.
Yeah. Why would you drop him? And then like there was some rumblings about he did something off the court. And so that's where my mind goes immediately. It's like, what did he do to warrant that? Because they're 30-13. There's no reason to fire a coach.
The second best record in the NBA.
Yeah. So it just makes me think there's something off the court that's going on that's not up to snuff.
Yeah, you're like second in the NBA. You're second in the East. You have superstars that are starting to gel and find a rhythm, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, this really just comes out of nowhere, and it's like, why would he, if he did do something off the court, why would he do that, like whatever it was, to endanger his career, basically? It's like,
so there's been some rumblings the last couple of weeks.
How he uses rumblings.
I mean not that the team per se, like we got a Darvin Ham hit piece a couple of weeks ago from the Lakers side of things, but for the Bucks, I mean, like the biggest knock against Adrian coming into the season was like, okay, what are you going to do as a rookie head coach? Like, yeah, you were a part of the 2019 team in Toronto. You got to learn at the feet of Nick Nurse, but like as a rookie head coach, this team's win now. This team is built to win now. And so what are you going to do to come in that Bud wasn't doing? And the knock against Bud was like, hey, you got knocked out of the playoffs 3 years out of 4 in kind of embarrassing fashion. And your end of game offense wasn't anything. And the end of game offense has been fixed because Dame is on the team now. It's nothing that Adrian was doing particularly. So what was Adrian Griffin going to change about this team and the way that it was run. And at the beginning of the season, he changed the defense. He kind of tried to install the system that Toronto ran these last 2 years, and they were bad. They could not defend anything. The reason the Pacers have had their number all season, they're 4-1 against the Bucks this season. The reason they've had their number is because the Pacers can score 165 points on any given night, and Milwaukee couldn't stop a cool breeze. So
Cool breeze.
what was going on there? He's changed some things. He's gotten better as a head coach as the season has gone along, which is why when I saw this notification pop up from Wash today, I was like, right now? We're halfway through the season. Right now? And then he started adding some context.
From freaking Twitter, from X, from Wojnarowski, because he always be on top of stuff. So everybody like heard this and was just not to mention after that saying that the first option of veteran coaches was coming out of the graveyard. Doc Rivers? Doc Rivers, dude?
I mean, he was coaching last year.
Bro, they dragged him to hell with how the whole Philadelphia thing went down. Like, and now they're just like,
him and Morey didn't get along at the end. He's talked very candidly about that. Actually, he's had a recurring segment with Bill Simmons. Shout out the Ringer and all of their podcasts. But he's had a recurring segment with Bill Simmons in addition to him calling games with ESPN. And he's talked very candidly about how him and Morey did not get along at the end, and how him and Harden didn't get along at the end, and how Harden and Morey were kind of they were kind of on the same side for a little bit, and then obviously they had their falling out, and so it's like none of those three was getting along, and the only one that's still left is Morey. So I don't know what that says about the situation, but
And let's be honest, who gets along with Daryl Morey and freaking James Harden? Like, nobody gets along with those two guys.
No. And James is doing his act right now, and we can talk more about that later. But anyways,
yeah.
Doc's a good coach. Like, the Sixers have been behind a couple of some of the best teams that the East has seen in years, the last few years. But I mean, you're still talking about like minimum second round, and then you kind of run into a wall against one of the two teams that's going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and maybe the finals. Like,
you don't know how to deliver. Anyway,
I wasn't surprised to see Doc's name thrown out. He's a free agent. He only thing he's doing right now is calling games and being on podcasts. So if he wants to coach and he wants to coach championship contender, like, yeah, go make an offer, see what he says. If it's not him, obviously Joe Prunty is the interim coach right now. I don't know if that's going to make that much of a difference, frankly. He might change some things. He might just try to keep status quo. Like, obviously you're winning games. You're second in the East. I don't think you're going to catch Boston. Boston's the best team in the NBA right now. But like, you can maintain second in the East with just the guys that you got on the roster, as long as you're kind of managing okay. He's probably not going to change a whole lot. And we'll see who, realistically, it's Giannis and Dame. Who do they want? Who they want as a head coach?
Well, I mean, Isaiah, you have something to say about that, or
no.
Okay. So I'm thinking Milwaukee can do one of two things here. They can, whenever you got these star players, I feel like you can either get a coach who's kind of like passive and just does whatever the players tell him to, which is kind of how Tyronn Lue started, but then he started making a name for himself and stuff like that. Or you could get a coach like Phil Jackson who like directly changes the player's ego. Like he tries to orient it towards the team. And
Phil was a hard ass. Like, we're not going to cut quarters here.
Yeah. I mean, you could go one or two ways, right? And so they went the Adrian Griffin route, and now they're going the Doc Rivers route. I don't know if Doc Rivers, he's done it before for sure. I just don't know. Like
2008 was a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
2008 was a long time ago, man. Like I said, Doc's a great coach, but like, it's been 15 years.
Hey, you better not be disrespecting one of the greatest Celtic teams of all time.
I ain't saying anything. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying it's been 15, almost 16 years. So
yeah.
It's been a long time.
No,
your camera's bugging, bro. Your camera's bugging.
Why?
No.
Why?
I'm gonna be honest. You guys' cameras have been frozen for me for a long time now. So
Uh-oh. Oh.
I mean, it just speaks. This whole thing just speaks to. I mean, if we take away, let's just assume Adrian Griffin didn't do some freaky stuff off court. This just speaks to the NBA, like the new age NBA, just being like, oh, everything's the coach's fault. Let's get him out of here.
Yeah.
Like it's just not how it works. If you look at Milwaukee, they don't really have that great of a bench, I don't think. I mean, they're relying on two rookies who, I mean, that's great and all. I mean, rookies can work out, but
That's
you kind of,
the price you pay.
yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't think the coach is what needed to change. I think a lot of their defense is pretty bad, and Jay Crowder coming back might help that. Who knows? But their defense is really bad. Their rebounding has been all right with Brook, but when Brook's off the floor, it's like Giannis gets a rebound or two. But like, what are they doing? Like, there's a lot of flaws in their game that the coach isn't responsible for. Is my point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
people said the same thing with Philly, when they were getting on Doc Rivers, and it's like, dude, sometimes it's not. It's literally it's just the players, like either because the roster is just the way it is and they can't do everything, or they just decide, or they have a mental issue or a mental block where they're just like, I can't perform at the highest level like I was before. Not always. You can't just always default to coach responsibility just because the player doesn't do something.
And we kind of see like those top teams in the East right now, like they got 6, they got 7, but you start getting to the like the team. The reason that you're good throughout the regular season is because you got 8, 9, 10 guys. Verno's got a phrase. He's you play guys that don't suck. Like if you got 10 guys that don't suck, you're gonna win a lot of games.
That's true.
And there's a couple guys that are in that Milwaukee rotation, and in that, I mean, you could go through it. Boston's got them, Philly's got them, Miami had them. We'll talk more about Miami here in a second.
Whoa.
But you're talking about those top teams in the East. They've got guys that just kind of, It's because of the way that those teams are constructed right now. They went all in on getting these 2-3 stars in the building, and you don't have money for everybody. You don't have enough time. And we could talk about Phoenix out west too, but you don't have enough guys where at the in the dog days of January and February, you're talking about losing games because you send 5 guys out there who can't score or can't defend. And that's part of the NBA now. There are very few truly deep teams in the NBA right now, and there's a couple of them that we could probably talk about it when we talk about what we thought about going into the season. But Milwaukee and Boston are going to be at the end because they've got great guys. They've got high end talent that is going to be playing 40 minutes a game in the playoffs as long as they're healthy. But those 8 minutes are pretty important when they're not on the floor. Are you going to lose a game in those 8 minutes because you got a guy, you got 2 rookies that you're relying on? You don't have a guy that can come in and just make a shot or can just like defend his butt off for 3-4 minutes at a time. Like where are those role players on the fringes? Are we going to see Milwaukee try and make some moves especially before the deadline? And I mean, they started the arms race when they traded for Dame, but are we going to try? Are they going to try and do something before the deadline to kind of fill out the back end of this rotation and make it make more sense? Obviously, Adrian is the one that fell on the sword for this, but I can't remember their GM's name right now. But the GM's got to take a long look at the mirror and try and figure out a way to maybe help address some of their deficiencies as a team right now. You can't get rid of certain guys, but we'll see what they do.
This is where I'm reminded of last year's Lakers team, because this is where they were with Westbrook. It was like, we got all these stars, all these high profile guys. What do we do now? I mean, we're not where we need to be, and Milwaukee's doing well record wise, but there's some obvious flaws in their game. And if they can pull off a trade that gives them some depth, like maybe trade Malik Beasley, I would keep Bobby Portis because he's a good locker room guy.
That's the thing, man. They're top 6. You run through it, right? You're not trading Dame. You're not trading Giannis. You're not trading Middleton, probably. You're not trading Brooke, and you're not trading Portis. And like that's your 5 of your rotation. You need 3 more. And how are we cobbling that together right now? Beasley's been solid in stretches. Crowder's been hurt. Is it who else is it? There was somebody I was seeing earlier. It's not Champagny, because that's the first guy. Who was it last? That I saw his name. I can't remember his name. But that's
it's just
like you get to the end of that list. You're like, who's the 8th guy? Who's the 7th guy on any given night?
I mean, I like Andre Jackson. He's a great rookie. He's a great rebounder for his size. It's just, does he have the experience? I'm not sure about that. Does he have the college experience? Does he have the grit that they need to get through the playoffs? I'm not sure he can be like a Gabe Vincent like last year. Like Gabe Vincent just popped in and he gave them that extra.
That I was thinking of. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, like if they can trade for like a Chris Dunn, that'd be nice to give them a little boost defensively. I'm not sure if Chris Dunn's available trade wise because the Jazz have been surging. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think because D'Lo's been in trade talks? You think if you're the Bucks,
I don't know if he's a positive for your team though.
Okay.
I don't. I think they're gonna try and trade D'Lo to the Lakers. I think are gonna try and trade D'Lo for a good young player on a team that's tanking. They're not gonna trade D'Lo to a contender.
Oh yeah.
To try and fill it out. Like he's a spark scorer, but he's also an empty stat scorer, and that's kind of what his career has been.
I've seen a lot of people talk about Zach LaVine going places because yes, he kind of is like he's a good player on a team that doesn't perform well, and the only thing is you can't really like diminish him to a role player status. Like,
but he should
easier to do that with like Jalen Green possibly.
Oh
but
yeah,
like even then, it's still like he has that. I think he has more of an ego and more of like a set style of play to where that'd be a lot more difficult. So like it's a weird state where the league is at. Kind of almost can't grab anybody, especially not after one of the trades that happened today.
Yeah, the Terry Rozier trade. That was
out of nowhere, bro.
Miami Heat trade for Terry Rozier. They give away Kyle Lowry. Yeah, like they give away Kyle Lowry, and they get I think 3 years from now they get some first round picks. I think out of it.
Let me pull up the trade again because I was looking at it earlier.
Miami has been kind of flying under the radar in a way. Like I haven't seen anything be like, Jimmy Butler has this amazing game, or like somebody, 6 man comes off and then does this incredible thing, or they do this crazy overtime win. It's kind of just been like, average season, but they still, I think with this trade shows that they still are trying to make that push for a title still, because Jimmy still wants that title.
It's 2027 first round pick.
Bro, if somebody deserves a title, it's Jimmy Butler. I mean, that
Jimmy has been fighting for that title, man.
I was pushing for him so hard last year. That would have been epic, beating Jokic and all them. But I'm happy that they're.
I was happy Jokic won. Jokic deserved it too, especially Murray too, coming off of the injury a couple years before.
For sure.
But
I still just think that it's like it kind of felt like it was out of nowhere because like who the heck was watching Charlotte? Nobody, because like there isn't anything there other than LaMelo. Don't care about him. So it's like they were just like, you know what? Give us Terry. Like how he got back to Charlotte, I don't know how. And the fact that no one else was like, we want him because he is a great role player, great great player off the bench. Like the fact that nobody was looking at him and they just snagged him is crazy to me.
Well, and it's coming off of last night where the Hornets pulled that game out of their asses, dog. And
Who were they playing?
I mean, he was solid last night. He played 35 minutes last night, but he only had 11 points. Like, you're talking about bringing a guy in who won't start for the Heat probably. But he's gonna be 6th or 7th man. And if Terry Rozier is your 6th or 7th man, I think you're doing all right. His name had been floated out a little bit, just because of how bad Charlotte is. If Charlotte was going to sell, then he was probably top of the list, and they got a first rounder for it. Kyle is probably going to get bought out, if I had to imagine. He's going to want to be bought out for one, and two, like, what are they going to do? Is he going to sit there and mentor LaMelo for the rest of the season? There's 40 games left, and then he's gone. Like, let him go to a contender. Dang it.
I mean, recently the Hornets said they don't want to buy him out. They want to see where this goes. So I don't know.
I think when we get closer to trade deadline and we kind of see how the Hornets are going to go one way or the other, they might have duped themselves after last night, beating one of the best teams in the West. But like,
Hey,
they beat the T-Wolves last night on the night that Karl-Anthony Towns had 62.
Down by a good bit in the.
They were down by like 14 at one point, 14 or 15 at one point, and the T-Wolves blew it because they don't know how to play defense. Apparently, if you listen to their coach talk about it, anyways.
Speaking of, that was some. Oh wait, no, you go ahead because I was about to move on.
I was just gonna say, so like we were talking about our things about at the beginning of the season, and like, is there any team that you like were surprised about? Any team that you expected that everybody else is like surprised about? Because like for me, I predicted the Magic would be good because I figured Banchero has another year in the league. You got all these guys coming in. You have Franz Wagner. You have a great overall team. Just needed a little more experience. And last year they surprised some people. So I fully expected them to be where they are. I actually expected them to be a little higher. But like, what about you guys? Who are some of your teams?
I intended to watch back our episode. I did not.
Yeah, I was curious about that too.
I'm probably about to lie my ass off real quick, but to my knowledge, this is what I think I was wrong about. I was definitely wrong about the Warriors. I didn't think they would be great after Chris Paul went there, but I didn't think they'd be this bad because I didn't think Draymond would get suspended. I didn't think Clay would, just kind of tank. Like, I thought he would still be able to shoot. So for them to be like this bad, like, threw me off completely. Didn't think the Suns would be bad, and it was I feel like it's really just because of the Bradley Beal injury, and he hasn't like played consistently. When he's back, he doesn't play consistently at like his performance. And I think, they are still number 2 in the East, 2 in the NBA, but I definitely thought that the Bucks would be best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not. They're close, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew that Boston and Milwaukee were still going to be good. I knew they were probably going to be top 2. I thought the order was going to be flipped. I did think that Milwaukee was going to be the number 1. We're halfway through the season at this point, and yeah, they're 2, but I did think they were going to be 1 in the East. I expected Orlando to take a little bit of a jump, and they're in the play-in right now. They're 8 right now. I did not expect the Pacers to be 7. I didn't expect them to be good. They're like going for it in a way, and in large part because of Tyrese taking the jump that he has.
Tyrese
has been filthy, dude, the whole season.
Tyrese.
Far and away the most efficient player in the NBA, like according to
it's literally ridiculous.
This man had what, like 49 assists in a 3-game stretch and 2 turnovers or some ungodly assist to turnover ratio there for a while. It stupid numbers. Anyways,
I mean, but thing. I'm sorry to cut you off, Josh. You can go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. Let's do your point, because I there are a couple other surprises that I've had from the season so far.
Well, I mean, with the whole Tyrese thing, with the way he's playing, I remember when the Kings made that trade, it was like, oh my God, they messed up, and then they made the playoffs, and everybody was like, oh, Sabonis is the real deal, and now Tyrese is doing this. Who do you guys think won that trade? Because that was I would say it's pretty equal. Because
I mean, yeah, for this is what, 3 years since the trade at this point. First 2 years of that, it's like, oh yeah, this is a win-win. Indy got a star, and the Kings broke the playoff streak. That's the definition of a win-win, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think now that the Pacers have clearly won that trade. Tyrese is, when you give up the best player in the trade, you lose. That's how it goes.
Okay.
And so it didn't. You look at it the Thunder trade with PG for SGA. SGA is one of the top 5 players in the league now. It doesn't matter what you talk about. The Thunder won that trade easily. You go back further. You look at the Kawhi trade out of San Antonio. It doesn't matter. You gave up a top 5 player in the NBA, and Toronto won a title because of it. We lost that trade. It doesn't matter that DeRozan was good for us for a couple of years, and we got a couple of decent picks out of it. We got Pirtle, and then we gave it back to Toronto, which was really funny. But it doesn't matter what we got out of that trade. We lost that trade.
Here's my thing, right? I do agree that Indiana won the trade, but it's not by a lot.
Oh no, it's not by a
and
lot.
That's only in the short-term view of it, in 2 season span. I would say. Even with the Kawhi, when you bring up the Kawhi trade, I'm like, okay, but the trade probably got picks, which then years down led to, butterfly effect, whatever, led to them getting Victor Wembanyama, who in probably 5-6 years will maybe get them 2 championships. I don't know. And then you're going to be like, hey, you remember that Kawhi trade from a decade ago? That's how we got him. That's how we win. So it's kind of
I mean, in the short term, it looked like a decent deal. You can't give giving up a top 5 player in the NBA is hard. You can't get a good value back ever. But it looked okay, especially because it was okay, yeah, he's going to leave Toronto next year. But we've missed on the picks that we had, what we got from that trade. I like some of the guys that we got from that trade, but they're not anything close to replacing a quarter or a half of the production that Kawhi was giving us. And yeah, we got Wemby out of it because we were dog water last year. And there was various reasons for that, but we were dog water last year, and then we got a little lucky. So it worked out in that we got Wemby, and that we have a burgeoning star on our hands again. Is that gonna make up for some of these years that we were absolute garbage and we're still in rebuilding? It remains to be seen.
Tuss said no, it will not.
It's been painful. It's been painful the last few years.
It's just, Pop is getting older, and I just want to go win.
He just signed another extension, dude. He's gonna coach until he dies. They're gonna bury him under the new practice facility they just built.
Yo.
They used to say that. There's a high school coach back home. They used to say that he was going to be buried under the field. He was going to coach till he dies and bury him on the field because he's synonymous with that area. And so it's Pop is synonymous with San Antonio at this point. We don't talk about anybody besides Tim, Tony, Manu, and the Admiral and David, and then Pop. And it's those 5. That's it. That's who you talk about. And then if you got the old heads in here, you start throwing George in, and he deserves some love. But those guys built San Antonio into what it is.
Robinson?
Yeah, David Robinson. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know his nickname. Huh.
Yeah. So.
Well, go back to the Indiana trade, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Sabonis doesn't get enough love overall. He's one of the, I mean, I would argue he's one of the best centers in the NBA.
Oh, he is. He's just in a conference with the best. So it's like it's unfortunate, but he's Jokic light, which is great. It's an amazing player, but when you get like you're not given what Jokic and Embiid are doing on a regular basis. So it's like, are you when you're the third best center? That's amazing, but Tyrese might make a first team All NBA team this year. So we're going the wrong direction here.
Yeah.
Like he's better than like Yusuf Nurkic, but like he's most known for getting his chest stomped in. That's like about it for the last like 2 years. Like, am I wrong? Like, you don't really hear about him on like a night in, night out basis. You just remember that.
Say you're wrong. No. You might see a stat line come across your feed every once in a while, but he's not doing a whole lot. In terms of like carrying that Sacramento team, and they're not at their. They kind of hit their ceiling last year with this team.
I expected Sacramento to be a lot better than they have been. I mean, they've lost some games. I'm like, how did you blow that lead? Like that.
I didn't expect them to be third again, but like not in the play-in. I expected them to be kind of firmly in that like 4 or 5 range. You know, like they're gonna get a little bit better, a little bit more experience. They're still gonna be doing this run and gun thing, and they have the team for it. Coach is getting better. Like, didn't expect them to take this much of a step back, and we might by the end of the season they might have settled into that. But for right now, they're underachieving in my eyes.
For sure.
Dang, Sacramento being a bad franchise. Shock. Anyway. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean too much disrespect. De'Aaron Fox is a king, but like you're struggling. So
I didn't expect San Antonio and Detroit to be this bad.
Detroit being that bad, dude.
Detroit has no excuses, man. There's so much talent on that team. And Monty took a team to the finals, man. Like, what are we doing here? Like, you set the record for losses in a row in a season.
Pistons, I think. I mean, this is gonna sound crazy because of the record. I think they aren't as bad as people give them credit for. Yeah, they're
not as bad as the record even indicates. Like, I didn't expect them to be this bad.
Like they give a fight. Like they're dogs out there. Like, half the games they've played have been time games. Like they've been giving.
Yeah, they're playing hard, which you think is like at least there's buy-in there for Monty. But like those guys are. You would expect, at least with the talent and the pedigree of those guys, that they would have won more games at this point. And some of that, maybe that does fall at Monty's feet. Maybe that does fall at like, hey, the GM maybe missed on a couple of these, and that's okay. But what are we doing here?
I think
and the same can be said for some.
When I heard him say that, I thought he'd say, people aren't giving them no credit. They're even worse than you think. That's how I interpreted that. What he said.
No, that's Charlotte.
One of my favorite games this season has been their bout with the Celtics. What was that, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Oh yeah, when they went to overtime with the Celtics and like gave them everything they could handle.
Yeah.
And then with the Bucks, they just had a back-to-back bouts, and they played really well. I mean, obviously their inexperience is going to show here and there, but I think you give this team another year. I mean, it might be a little ambitious, but you could see another Orlando coming.
They might not win 10 games this year, man. Like, they're 4-39. Oh Lord!
No, dude.
It's honestly. I don't think, if I'm the Pistons, I'm gonna stand pat, and I'm not gonna do anything crazy.
They're gonna get 1 to 2, and they're gonna get a top pick, which in this draft might not be the best thing, but they're gonna have a top pick. They're for sure gonna have a top 4 pick, and they might have a top 1 pick to work with here to go along with Cade. And then if the guys are gonna keep playing like this for Monty when they're 4-39, then maybe you do keep Monty, and maybe like you do try and figure it out. Maybe you consolidate some of these pieces. Maybe you go after a star to put alongside Cade in the number 1 pick in the draft. But right now, it's rough.
Bro, when was the last time you saw a team get destroyed in half a season? You know, like half a season. They lost this many games. You know, last time I felt like that, Cleveland Browns, when they were just like dog water and couldn't do nothing. You know, even a baseball team that hadn't been to the World Series in like 40, 50 years didn't get as much hate as Detroit did. That's how bad they were, dude. That's really bad.
The city of Detroit got to be at least a little happy with the Lions. You know,
they sold their souls to get these football teams up there, man. They sold the Pistons to hell, is what they did. Michigan wins the national title and Detroit's in the NFC Championship game, but the Detroit Pistons over here might not see the light of day for 3 years because of it.
This is the Detroit Lions kicking the Pistons off their pedestal.
Every branch on the way down. It's one of those cartoon scenes where he hits every beam on the way down the building.
I mean, if I'm the Pistons, the most I do this season is trade maybe Bogey, trade Bird.
I think they're going to trade Bogey.
And then one of the big guys, because I mean, you can't have like, what do they have? Like 4 big guys after they traded Bagley, like 4 solid big dudes. Who you just, this isn't like 1980 where it's like, you know,
you don't need 4 big guys.
Boys.
Yeah, you don't. But you don't need 4 big guys in today's age. You need 3 max. So one of them's going to go. You got to pick one. But I think Bogey's going to get traded. Bogey is going to be one of those guys that's going to end up on a contender.
I mean, who would you guys keep if you were the Pistons? Which big guys would you keep? I mean, I think you got to keep Duran.
And Duran's staying. Duran's staying for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think center, power forward. Okay, Muscala's a center. Isaiah Stewart, get his ass out of here. Stewart don't do shit. I don't know. He got horrible mentality. He got anger issues, and he don't produce. Get him out of there.
All right, fair.
You don't need to be there. Wasn't this the same dude who tried to like fight LeBron and Cade had to like tackle him? Like half the team had to tackle him. Was that not this guy?
That was him.
Get him out the league. Get him out there with Draymond. Put him on his podcast. He can be a co-host over there.
No, but you saw him last night.
The NBA Bruisers. They can be like a duo for that. They can do that.
Okay.
He's also a little undersized for a center.
All right.
That's fair. Like I think he's been miscast, but he can't shoot. So what do you do? I do think that they're going to trade. They're probably going to trade Muscala, if I had to imagine, and they're probably going to trade Gallinari. Like they're going to end up with one of the youngest teams in the league by the end of the season, because I think they're like, if you're going to be this bad, at least do right by your vets, get them the heck out of there, and then you can maybe convince a couple of players to stick around, or you bring in a couple of players to kind of be like mentors, you know. It's like almost the D Rose role. There was a really interesting article like towards the beginning of the season about how the Haslam role, that kind of old vet that you might have overpaid a little bit to sit on the bench, but hey, the checks are cashing, and they get to like be just like the old head in the locker room, be the good influence, kind of treat the youngins with respect, but to show the youngins how the game works, how the pros work. Tell them, show them and tell them what to do, so set them up to be successful. You're gonna keep a couple of these guys to do that. Joe Harris is on this team. I did not know that Joe Harris is on this team. I'll be completely honest with you. Yeah, and maybe Joe Harris is the one that they keep, because I mean, shooting stays, but maybe Joe Harris is the old head at the end of the season, and the rest of the team is just baby. run all the 20 and 21 year olds out there, and let's see what we got, and then evaluate from there.
Bogdanovich is older. He's 34.
Bogdanovich is 34, but he's not going to be on this team at the end of the season. He's going to get traded. Like, and they're
at the same spot the Spurs are. You know, it's the same thing.
Yeah. But the Spurs at least have won 8 games.
Yeah.
Now, did we beat Detroit for one of those? Yes, but Wemby, man, like you look at Wemby, and maybe Detroit has the same argument with Cade, but Wemby is insane. Wemby does shit every night that you look up and you're like,
It's literally like watching NBA 2K, and it's like,
what just happened?
No,
What just happened? Did you see the shit he pulled last night from
Yeah.
the 3-point line? Like broke a dude, like burst past a dude, 3 steps, and like both knees in the air, double. Like,
yo,
what?
he plays like he's 6'2".
Wemby's a great like physical, like he has some great intangibles, right? But the thing people forget about Wemby is his work ethic and his attitude. Like
Oh
that's
yes,
what's
yeah.
impressive.
He loves basketball,
He's
and he
always the
wants
last
to
guy
get
in the
better.
gym. He's always like playing his butt off in the games. And I don't know if you guys saw the quote, but he's like, "I'll go play in the G League if
Yeah,
that
he
means I
wants
can
to be coached.
He was
Like-
raised right. He was raised
He-
right.
Spurs like that." That's the kind of guys the Spurs needed, you know,
Exactly.
just character wise.
I've been disappointed in the Spurs. Like I looked at this team after we drafted Wemby, and I was like, there's a lot of guys around the fringe. You know, I like Vassell, I like Keldon, I like Trey. Hang on, I got my system's being stupid.
Hold on, which game was this where he broke somebody?
Last night against Philly.
Well, I had to ask the opponent. Dang.
Bro,
Yeah. Now we got rung.
I mean,
We got 70 rung on us, but
chill, man. Embiid was the guy last night.
Embiid is a monster, man. I saw a tweet after that game. It's like, we live in an age of monsters. Where Embiid's out here getting 70 cat on the other coast.
He's not won yet, so like my mind.
It's got to get out the second round.
You scored.
He's got to get out the second round.
Woohoo! Good for you. Like win a championship.
And guess what? Like Milwaukee or Boston are going to be sitting there waiting for you this year. You got to beat one of those two, and you might have to beat both of them.
Yeah,
depending on how Miami or Cleveland or New York or any of these other teams can pull off some kind of upset. But like, I'm not expecting something like that. So
I mean, he's there. Tobias Harris has been balling recently.
Tobias has been really good as a third option in Philly. I was trying to tell these guys a couple weeks ago about that, and they started laughing at me. But I was like, Tobias has been really good all season.
No, I wasn't like necessarily. I wasn't like thinking you were lying. I think it was just like the last time I heard him being like decent was like, I don't know, 2013. So it was like I can't believe he's like still being helpful here.
Yeah, he's overpaid as a third option, but he's been a really good third option too.
I think I mean, if the Sixers can somehow pull it off, which I'm not sure how this would work logistically, but if they can get someone like a Bogdanovich, like that'd be fire. Like they'd be. I
don't know what their assets look like right now.
Like, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like I don't know what that would look like trade wise, but Pat Bev's been great for them. I mean, Pat Bev's a dog. You know, he's gonna get it done.
And when Tyrese and Joel are your best two players on any given night, they might put up 70, 80, 90 points. So you live with that. Now, did the Spurs like flirt with winning that game last night despite giving up 70 to Embiid? Yeah. So that's a little concerning. It's a little concerning that Embiid scored 70 and you almost lost. Like,
Bro, just this is a what, 19-year-old, right? Is he 18, 19, something like that?
He is actually, I think he's 20 now. Okay. I think he turned 20. He turned 20 this season.
Look at how he just like he doesn't jump and he just towers over. Like, look at this. They can't even react because his hand is already there.
He's got impeccable ball skills, man. Like he went to the Tim Duncan school of get the ball up on the rim and it sometimes goes in. Like
this is
I mean,
ridiculous.
He's at practice every day. So
I mean, see, I've never like been a guy like if I pay attention to drafts, it's like for the underdog player, like the hidden gems, like Marcus. But I feel
that's the guys that the Spurs are drafting for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I really was impressed by Wemby's like attitude. That's what got me, and I was like, we need this guy. Like this guy. Yeah. It wasn't so much the physical stuff. I mean, that too, obviously, but his attitude's just amazing.
I think that's why. And
we knew what we were getting
him already.
we knew what we were getting to.
Mhm.
The San Antonio has not reacted like we reacted to Wemby, like getting the number 1 pick, and we all knew it was going to be Wemby. Like we have not reacted like that in a long time.
Yeah. I mean,
2014 was probably the last time we were that hyped for anything.
bro,
So
2014. Nothing beats the 2014 Spurs, man. That team was.
you said it, not me. I love that team. I still go the beautiful game videos, man.
Well, I think I found that move you were talking about. I think
It was pretty early in the game, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it on NBA
Yep,
TV.
this right
It's
here.
like
Yep.
the stupid blackout restrictions always prevent me from watching the game, so I gotta stream it or just watch
He
the
just
highlights.
he just
where
went
he's
straight
jumping
by
from.
him.
Look at where he's jumping from.
And he doesn't jump that high either.
He's losing the
Like
ball, but
sneaks in
he's
there.
he's still dunking it. This is so
Okay,
crazy.
wait, but imagine if he gets that Giannis beef up like a couple years ago, how Giannis like beefed up. Dude, this dude's gonna be scary if he gets that.
He doesn't need that much more muscle. I think it's a lot of the stuff that he can do is because he's as like gangly as he is, but definitely like enough muscle to prevent him from getting hurt all the time. And like
Gangly.
that's another thing. Wemby's been healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been keeping him. Like, credit to the Spurs staff and his personal training team. Wemby's been healthy for the whole season.
Man, I hope
And-
Kawhi is watching that and be like, I was the problem.
Kawhi knows he was the problem at this point. Kawhi knows he was the problem at this point.
Shots fired.
Hey. This is the first healthy Kawhi season we've had since 2019.
I mean, I'm happy the Clippers are doing.
I'm glad he's back.
But
the NBA is better with the healthy Kawhi. But dog. Maybe if you'd listened to him, you'd still be like in San Antonio and playing really well. Anyways.
I know Isaiah's a Kawhi fan, so I'm not gonna slander him too much.
You can't.
I respect the hell out of Kawhi.
He is literally one of my favorite players of all time. Like, I want to get his jersey still. Like, even like KD is one of my favorite players of all time, even though, you know, all the shit that happened with OKC. Like, and I get it. It's just one of those it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, when you have that that dedication as a fan to like your team, hometown team, or just any team that you love, and then you feel that betrayal or any type of thing that happens with a certain player, and that shit'll stick. Like, I just have the benefit of not feeling attached to any specific team. I remember being like hell bent on any Texas team in any sport. So when the Mavericks were winning, I was down with Dirk. When the Spurs were winning, I was down with them. When Harden went to the Rockets and they started succeeding, I was rocking with them. And then at some point, I just kind of like, you can bash him all you want, like it's fine because it's fair.
I'm more mad at his uncle than anything else. That's all.
I mean, I'm more like recently there's been rumors about like DeJounte Murray getting back to the Spurs, and it's like I don't know about that, man. I don't know.
Murray didn't know how good he had it.
Yeah, DeJounte, man.
Murray didn't know how good he had it. That's what he's figuring out in Atlanta.
And then the Lakers are trying to get him. And they tried to
I've been seeing that. I've been seeing that.
They tried to trade him D'Lo straight up, and the Hawks were like, "No, we don't want D'Lo." So now they're trying to find a third team to trade him to.
I think the Hawks are still trying to like build around Trae Young.
Yeah, that's what this trade. That's what this means. That's what this means. Them trading Murray is we're committed at this point to Trae Young.
Why?
Who has gotten us to one Eastern Conference Finals in a fluke season and nothing else.
Hey man, I like Trae Young. I think he's a great player.
I didn't mind Trae coming out of college. I didn't understand why he was like, "Oh, is Trey the number one pick? Is Trey gonna like be this the next Steph Curry?" And like all of the stuff that he was getting coming out of college, I was like, "Y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill." I could have told you when watching him at Oklahoma against our Baylor Bears, I was like, I see it. I see some of the flashes. I can understand like he's hitting it from 30 and like there's some stuff here, but the man can't defend and has had issues with coaches his entire NBA career. And they have continued to be like, "Hey, let's make sure that Trey is taken care of. Let's build around Trey. Let's build around Trey." And it worked one time. It's the same success as, and as his the guy that he's going to be compared to forever is Luka getting to one conference final. And that's it.
People still love Luka though.
And yes, people love Luka. They both play kind of that similar like heliocentric style. And look at what it's getting them. It's not working right now for either. And like it's working a little bit better for the Mavs right now, but the Mavs have Kyrie and Kyrie's been on his best behavior all season. So
let's see how long that lasts, man.
And Lively's been really good for them too.
Let's give it till like Mercury's in retrograde or whatever, and then he's gonna say some bullshit about like Cowboys in Dallas, and then they're all gonna hate him.
Something like that.
As long as Kyrie keeps his mouth shut and just balls, he's so much more fun to watch. I'm sorry, it's true. Yeah. But Atlanta has for years been trying this, and I think at some point it's gonna hit a breaking point. Like Trey is not it. Maybe it's time. And yeah, he's been good. He's been great, even, but he's not the centerpiece of a franchise.
The Lakers want him. That's one thing. The Lakers want Trey.
Okay, the only way that works though is like because it's LeBron there. If he stays there, because that is a question, or at least it was a question. I don't know. Like because he's there, that will like low key mold Trey's ego to be like, hey, you need to be a role player. You basically need to turn into either Klay Thompson or like I can't think of a player off the top of my head, or like a facilitator. And you need to play defense.
Basically D'Angelo Russell with way better passing and a little bit better shooting. Like that.
He's not Steph Curry 2.0. He's Monte Ellis 2.0.
That's a good one. That is a good one. No, Monte Ellis. Don't get it twisted.
Monte was a great player. But you couldn't win with Steph Curry and Monte Ellis together.
Yeah.
You couldn't. You won with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson together. And so if you're gonna make Trey Trey could probably be the third best guy on a team that wins an NBA Finals. He's not gonna be the best guy, and he's probably not gonna be the second best guy. So what team is that's going to pay him what he's getting paid right now, which is a max rookie extension? Who's going to pay him for that? Is it going to be the Lakers? The Lakers might try and swing for it, but they're going to have to pay a king's ransom to get Trey, which is why they're going after Murray and not Trey.
Yeah.
What other team is going to go after him?
I mean, gonna think of. I don't know.
I feel like nobody really.
I don't know, man.
You don't want him on the Pistons with Cade because Cade is at his best, but he's got the ball in his hands. So.
It's just because everyone remembers all the drama with the coaches, so they don't want him. They don't want it. It's the same kind of thing of like Harden. Nobody wants him, so he just kind of sits in limbo on the team because of the drama that'll happen. It's bound to come with him. So
yeah, Harden and Kyrie have transcended the coaching drama and the off the court drama because of their talent and because of how good they are, and because frankly they've got results. Kyrie's got a ring. Harden's made a finals run as the third best player on the team, but still, like they've made it far enough in the postseason to kind of assuage some of this stuff. And it's like, we got to take a swing on it. The talent's still there. The success is there. Maybe it's this year. Maybe this year it breaks right for us. The proof of concept with Trey is one conference finals in a weird NBA year. Every other relatively normal NBA year, they have either missed the playoffs entirely or been in the play-in.
And on paper,
that's not good enough. That's not good enough for the Hawks to say, "Hey, he's our franchise guy."
I mean, on paper, the Hawks team is pretty talented. You know, there's not that many.
It's the same thing as Detroit. There's too much talent for them to be a 7 seed.
Yeah.
It's a lot, honestly. Trying to sum up this past like first half of the season is a lot, but we did it. We did that shit. So we are just gonna hop into the next section after a quick little transition break. So moving on, I didn't tell you guys about this on purpose, but I still think this will be funny to do. So I'm gonna hit y'all with a blind ranking. I need you guys to blind rank these current Baylor players.
Okay.
So, this list is NBA players that went to Baylor. For you guys that don't know, we all attended Baylor University, saw a lot of these guys play. But yeah, they are currently in the NBA, went to Baylor. I need you guys to blind rank. Work as a team. All right?
Okay.
So like player. First person is going to be ranked.
He's not going to tell us. He's not going to tell us every player that's on this list.
Okay.
So I'm giving you a list in an order. You got to rank them 1 to 5. You don't know who's coming next.
Okay. Yeah.
First player, Keontae George.
See, Keontae is awesome. Like, he's been great, but he's a rookie. That's the thing.
I still think third is safe because I think he's shown a lot. And I can think of 2 players that are better than him right now, NBA-wise, that are Baylor Bears. But in terms of where he's at and what he's shown us, like, he's second in assists as a rookie right now in the rookie rankings. He's been really good scoring. He's been active defensively. I think third is like safe for him.
I think that's fair. I think third is good.
All right. Next player, Taurean Prince.
Oh, see, Taurean Prince he's been solid. Like, he hasn't been
playing on the Lakers, playing next to LeBron. Like,
he's been a solid role player.
Yeah,
he's been a solid role player for a long time too. Actually.
Oh yeah, he's been
in the league longer than I thought. To be honest, I didn't think he was still in. But
yeah, I mean, he was part of the I think it was the 2015 team that lost, right? It's 24. It's 2015, right? 2015, 2016, somewhere in that. It's in that like 2-3 years stretch right before I got to Baylor. And he was good for us back then. He was actually really good for us back then. And he's been solid for a long time. He's been in some lousy situations. The Lakers is probably the best situation he's been a part of. And yeah, but
I mean, he's been solid. I mean, he's improved a lot. The only thing that I'm apprehensive of is, like, what if there's a guy who's like way in the olden days and we're just forgetting about, you know?
He said current. No.
It's only current players.
He said current, and I still think the top 2 are 2 aren't Taurean. I think 4 is fine. I think 4 is fine. I think there's probably going to be somebody that's still Baylor Bear but worse than Taurean has been. And Taurean's been a really solid role player for the Lakers. Could he be better? Absolutely, but most of these guys could be. So, and will be, hopefully.
I can only think of 5, like, off the top of my head, but maybe I'm just.
So I'll tell you. Out of current players, there are 7.
Okay. Wow.
The list is way longer for.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can't.
All time.
There's 7 players, but I only picked 5. Okay.
I mean, is Freddie Gillespie on there? You got to be on there, right?
Next up, Jared Butler.
Jared's gotten no run, man.
He's done.
Jared's gotten no run, man. And I hate that he's gotten no run, but he's not done really anything at the NBA level. He's been kind of delegated to the G League, and when he has gotten play time in Oklahoma City, it's been really, really brief. Being a part of that organization right now is, as a young player, if you're not like elite, which he was in college, but if you're not elite, you're not getting any play time. And I feel bad for him, but he's got to be 5. Like he hasn't shown enough at the NBA level yet. He's been good in the G League, but he's not getting NBA minutes. So
I mean, we also got to keep in mind that I think the next 2 guys are David Mitchell and Jeremy Sohan. So
yeah, if they're not, then he's gonna be cheeky. I assume.
Yeah, so 5 is good. 5 is good.
Based off of how Josh is putting this, I'm assuming he's doing this off of like what they've done so far in their career, and based off of that. I'm just saying, though,
like
Jared's
just
as a player, like
I love Jared Butler. I love Jared Butler, but we haven't seen proof of concept for him at the NBA level. We saw it in college. He was an All-American in college. He was one of the best players in the country, and so was Zach Edey last year, and he's not going to be a great NBA player. So Jared needs opportunity. I want him to get the opportunity, but until we get to see it, I can't like confidently put him above guys that are actively getting minutes right now.
Hey Jared, sorry you got us the ring, but you're at the bottom of the list.
I love him. I love him. He's a legend, Baylor legend. But that's where we're at right now with the NBA, at least.
All right. Next up, probably shouldn't have told you like I picked, out of the 7, Davion Mitchell.
He's done a lot. More than Jared, I'll say that.
Probably one of the better on-ball defenders in the guard position that Baylor has seen in recent.
And one of the better on-ball defenders that the NBA has seen, frankly.
Oh, yeah.
He's a dog.
There's a reason why you can go to a Baylor game now and people show up in a Kings Mitchell jersey. Like this dude was built different.
Off night. Yep, that's him. I mean, the next guy I can think of is Sohan, and I'm comfortable putting David. So,
this is where I go back and forth. I think Sohan right now and Davion right now, like it's so hard to pit them against each other because I mean both of them are excellent defenders already. Sohan is playing on a worse team, but that doesn't mean that he's not like at least of comparable talent, if not better, or like it depends on how you're going to look at it.
So now we're doing it on the talent thing. I thought before it was like what they accomplished.
They're getting a relatively equal opportunities right now. So like
why I put Sohan below David Mitchell is because look, I love Sohan. He's a great player and he's a great personality, all that. But sometimes I watch him play and I'm like, dude, like you got to give more effort. Like it's just not.
There are times where he lopes a little bit.
Like he's got
a little Kyle Anderson in his game sometimes.
I guess. Sometimes it's like, dude, you're 6'9", like just go up, get the rebound. Like the most you'll do is get fouled. Like go up with the shot. Like don't just pass it out.
But he's a team player. That's how he's been molded over the course of his career. Coming internationally to Baylor, and then the stuff that we were doing with him at Baylor, like I always felt the best when we were running the offense through Jeremy when he was at Baylor. I had really high hopes for Kendall Brown when he was at Baylor, but by the end of the season, I was like, if Jeremy's not the one with the ball, I don't want it. Like it was way more interesting, and I felt way better about it when he had the ball in his hands. That's it. I think Davion going 1 is comfortable. I feel comfortable doing that.
I'd say so too.
Also, the fact that they were putting Sohan at like the point guard spot or whatever.
Yeah,
like that didn't help him at all.
I actually think it did. It didn't set him up as like excellently. Davion's one.
Oh, Davion's one. My bad.
Yeah. It didn't set him up for like critical success, but I think it has made him a better player.
That's fair.
All right, so y'all put Davion Mitchell at number 1. All right.
Mhm.
And last on the list, because y'all want to, I did literally give y'all a hint, and y'all want to be, experts on it. You're fucking wrong. It's not Sohan. It's Kendall Brown. He's number 2.
Okay.
Ah, fuck you. You did that on
Y'all
purpose.
rank Kendall Brown above Keontae George, bro.
Yeah, you did that on purpose. He'd be 5 if we knew that he was the one on this list.
Well, that's the fucking point, ain't it? I literally wrote this down like, I am putting Kendall Brown here. They will not put him 5. I know it. All right, man. Game's the game. That's just how we doing it.
Okay. All right. All right.
Shout out to Sohan. Also, the other, current NBA player, Royce O'Neal.
Royce has been really solid for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Torian. I actually think him and Torian played together. So I think they were part of that same team. Royce, shout out, man. Like he made his way. He was on the Jazz and just kind of grinded his way up, and he's been really solid for a really long time. One of the better 3-and-D options in the league right now.
All right, then on this blind ranking, we have the best Baylor player currently in the NBA with Davion Mitchell, Kendall Brown, who I think has maybe played 5 games.
He's in the G League. He's in the G League. 5
official games. He is number 2. Keontae George, who on a kind of struggling Jazz team, but a lot of talent. Number 3. Torian Prince, playing with the Lakers, and the King himself at number 4, and Jared Butler at number 5. Yeah, if y'all got thoughts, comment below, because I have mine. But anyway, I'm
still mad at you.
Anyway, we're gonna move on to something that I think we will enjoy a little bit better. We are going to build our dream NBA player. I have this in an order. I'm gonna pitch this to both of you. Josh, do you want to do a draft, or do you want to just build however we see fit?
I'm fine with doing a snake draft.
I
think it'll be more fun. I think it'd be more fun that way, actually.
Well, no, I asked Josh about if it's a snake draft or not. Now I asked Tanish, do you want it to be current NBA players only or all-time NBA players?
All-time people have done before. I haven't seen a lot of current NBA, so I think it would be more challenging if it's current. But that's just me.
All right. Okay. This is what we're gonna do. Which of us can build the best current NBA player? Going left to right. Josh is first. Take it away.
Steph Curry shooting.
I mean, I figured it was gonna happen.
Steph Curry shooting. That's it. Hey, we're yes.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that was gonna be taken first, but okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna go Kawhi defense.
God damn it, man! I wanted that. God.
I heard that clap from my room.
Bro, I was that was one of the only things I really wanted for building this thing. Okay. Dang, now you threw me off, bro, because I really just wanted that first. Okay. For the body athleticism. Dang it, man. I'm so hesitant. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take Giannis.
Okay, fair.
I'm gonna take Giannis for the athleticism. And passing of Jokic. Why not?
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I thought about it a long time, but I think that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I think that's a pretty good combo.
I'll give you that.
Because if you have Jokic's vision with Giannis's movement, I think that's insane.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm gonna go with Tyrese Halliburton passing.
Yep.
Solid. Okay. All right. Give me LeBron's body athleticism.
Okay,
That's
I
fair.
get it, but he's old. Like, is that really like
The man is 39 years old and doing shit that we will never see again.
That's fair.
Man, look at LeBron in 2012 and look at him now. I know it's still crazy, but it's also, you know,
And give me Kyrie's handles.
I'm gonna go Tatum shooting. I like Tatum shooting a lot.
Solid.
yeah, I was thinking
Solid.
about that for mine. God damn it. Honestly, I feel like I can't go wrong with it. I want Lillard shooting.
Mm-hmm. Good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
Fair.
And for defense, give me Wembanyama's defense.
Okay. All right.
yeah. I'm gonna be like that. I'll be like that.
You're missing.
I don't have the exact length, but I have a lot, so I think not cancels. It correlates well.
He's got really, really good defensive instincts. You're also missing an M, by the way.
Wait, what? Oh,
Wembanyama.
That's where it gets tough. Let's see. I'm gonna go Anthony Edwards with my body athleticism.
Interesting. Okay. All
I
right.
wanted to use Anthony on another one.
Yeah, I wanted to use Anthony too, actually.
As compared to us, though, he is a little bit shorter, so I think we at least have an advantage.
Give me Drew Holiday's defense.
Ooh.
Okay, that's fire.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay. Interesting.
Give me Jimmy's mentality.
Damn it, man! Ugh.
I like my player a lot. I think I know who I'm going to go passing to. See if y'all go grab passing from me here.
Depends, man. It might not correlate.
It's true.
I'm gonna say Shea with handles and finishing.
Solid.
Literally, when I think about the one I want,
20 minutes later.
I'm really thinking like around like every team. There's probably somebody right there, and I just can't. Yeah, I am. What the fuck? Give me Luca.
Fuck!
Yeah, bro, give me Luca. What am I doing?
I was wondering if you were going to think about him. I was wondering if you were going to think about him. I was looking at the list. I was like, he's not up there yet.
I was literally thinking like I was going from east to west, thinking of everybody, and I'm like, wait a minute, his freaking teammate. Why did I do that? Mentality.
2 hours later.
Okay, give me Dylan Brooks.
Okay.
Okay.
The biggest ego in the fucking world. He
Okay,
doesn't back down to
that's
anybody. But with all of my talent here, like,
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
right.
I don't know.
What I just realized.
That threw me for a loop.
Body or shooting.
Wait, what?
I should have gone with KD.
I was actually gonna say KD not being
Yeah,
on
I
this
was
list
like,
is
who are
criminal.
the best
Actually,
talent? Yeah,
we might have
nobody
fucked up
took
there.
KD. Like, nobody took KD.
But mentality, I'm gonna go pretty controversial here. I'm gonna go with one of my favorite players in the league, TJ McConnell.
Huh? What?
I love
TJ?
TJ a dog.
Like,
It is your
dude,
player.
TJ?
TJ a dog. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
All right, man.
Give me Devin Booker's passing.
Devin Booker?
Hmm.
Really? Okay.
He's been their point guard for basically the whole season.
That
And
is
he's gotten
true.
he has made leaps and bounds since having Chris Paul as mentor. He has made leaps and bounds as a passer. I really like the way he sees the floor now.
Okay. See, now that I'm looking at this, there's a lot of things I would have switched. Like I probably would have
pretty happy with
switched Luka for shooting. I probably would have switched that or taken KD shooting.
I'm
Possibly.
pretty happy with mine.
Okay, let's shout out to the Deep Three. This is where I get all the inspiration from.
There
Yeah.
we go.
So
Yeah, they're
let's
so much fun, dude.
Let's list them out, Josh. What's your player?
LeBron body, Curry shooting, Drew Holiday defense, Devin Booker passing, Kyrie handle, and Jimmy buckets for the mentality.
And Michael Jordan's son. All right, Tanish, what's your player?
All right, I got Anthony Edwards body. I got Tatum shooting. I got Kawhi defense. Halliburton passing. SGA handles and the dog mentality. TJ McConnell.
All right. For me, I got the body of the Greek freak Giannis. Got the shooting is Dame time, Damian Lillard. The defense of Victor Wembanyama, the next generation of the NBA. The passing of the greatest player on the planet, Nikola Jokic. The handles of his cousin, Luka Doncic. And the mentality of Dylan Brooks.
Hey man, Dylan Brooks is a dog though.
You also misspelled his name.
Yeah, I don't care. Well, yo, okay. So like looking at it, Josh has the best mentality, I think, out of people, considering what we had like available. The only other mentality that's like better than that, I think, is well, no, not he has the best mentality, but like LeBron's mentality probably would have been like the best one. Or Victor.
LeBron we could have taken for a lot of these. I think the only one that you wouldn't want is LeBron shooting, frankly.
Probably.
And maybe his handles, but his finishing is incredible. So
yeah. I feel like I win the athleticism conversation. Curry wins shooting.
That's fair.
I think Kawhi wins defense. When Kawhi is on, when Kawhi cares, he still fucking rips, dude.
I know, but it's like
it's terrifying.
Passing, it's
Jokic.
It's Jokic, but it's like Halliburton's also really, because it's so efficient.
Halliburton's been really good.
We should do this next time with only role players. Like I want to see how.
Handles. Okay. Kyrie has the best handles in the league. To be perfectly fair.
That's fair.
I feel like SGA's bag is underrated though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
I think it's underrated.
His finishing ability is excellent. Yeah.
But I still believe in Luka because, like, honestly, everybody says they can't stay in front of him.
Luka gets to his spot. It doesn't matter what you want to do. Luka gets to his spot.
Luka at shooting would have been kind of underrated too.
It would have been like that's one of those things I probably would have switched. Like, but then I was really thinking about like who else can really handle like that, and I mean I could have been like De'Aaron Fox possibly.
If we had speed, De'Aaron, if like
his
just pure
speed would have roped
speed
into the athleticism.
Yeah, thing. But I like if you wanted to make its own category, De'Aaron would have been like top pick there.
Let's just build a whole like 2K character. Just like whose stats specifically do you want? Whose speed? Whose acceleration?
Man is a freak.
Hey, comments. Let us know who you think has the best player built out of this. Honestly, if we did all time, like this would look way different.
Oh yeah. Plus, all time would be fun too. And but also, Tanish is right. All time's been done a lot. So.
But that's why I also wanted to ask draft or no draft, because if it's no draft, a lot of them are gonna repeat. But they're still, the ones that we want to favorite putting in,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we built pretty decent players.
Oh yeah. All of these are stars. All of these are studs, man.
I feel like mine wins though.
Are we sure about that? Let the comments decide. Let the comments decide.
I think mine wins. I don't know.
We can do like a poll in the comments. We'll see what they say.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. We could do a poll. I think we're gonna save it there. We're gonna save some stuff for next time. Probably when playoffs roll around, or maybe All-Star. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap up this episode of the pod. Thank you to everybody for showing up again. Backlog Bear, my man Tanish. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, comment down below, subscribe, click the bell to get notified of future episodes like this one. It's Thoughts at the Table. We'll talk about any thoughts that come to mind. So yeah, just be, wary of whenever those drop. But yeah, I don't know. I just be rambling now. I don't know how to outro podcast yet. So I just be saying shit. So like, yeah, that's pretty much all we got. What'd you say?
This is how the 3D guys started. So
Yeah,
on
and now they on House of Highlights. So
yeah,
one day,
One day, right?
one day. Oh man, that's pretty much all we got. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, we will see you guys in the next episode.
Peace. My man left.
Dip.
He just
dipped
quick.
him.